My life was a spreadsheet, and I liked it that way until the day it drowned in a lake. A lawyer's call, crisp as autumn air, informed me I'd inherited a lake house from my estranged mother, a woman I hadn't spoken to in 20 years, and I sold it faster than you can say capital gains. The decision was easy. I'm Tom Hargrove, a 48-year-old accountant who thrives on order numbers. Don't lie. People do. The lake house, a crumbling relic in the Adirondacks, was a tie to a past I'd buried a mother who chose her art over her family, a childhood of empty promises, and a bitterness that had hardened into indifference. I didn't want her ghost haunting my balance sheet. So, I signed the papers, pocketed $350 and planned to invest it in a college fund for my daughter, Lily. She was 19, a sophomore at NYU, bright and fiercely independent, with her mother's eyes and none of my cynicism. I thought I was doing right by her. 2 weeks later, my phone buzzed at 2 a.m. Lily's voice, usually steady, cracked like thin ice. Dad, there's a mistake in Grandma's will. You need to come to the lake house now. Her words hit like a punch, stirring a dread I couldn't name. A mistake I'd already sold the place to a developer, eager to turn it into condos. What could she mean I booked a flight from Chicago to Albany, my mind racing with questions? Had I missed something in the fine print? Was there a debt tied to the property? Or was Lily, my practical daughter, chasing some sentimental whim? The drive to Lake Wisteria was a blur of pine trees and regret. I hadn't been back since I was 15 when I'd stormed out of that house, vowing never to return. My mother, Eleanor, was an artist, her life a chaotic swirl of paint and passion. She loved that lake house, her sanctuary, but to me, it was a prison of neglect. She'd sketch for hours, lost in her world, while I scrounged for dinner or fixed leaks in the roof. When I left, I cut her out of my life, and she never fought to keep me. Now, her death at 73 felt like a door I'd already locked. I arrived at the lake house just as dawn broke, the water shimmering like a sheet of glass. Lily stood on the porch, her dark hair tangled, her face pale. She held a leather-bound journal, its pages yellowed and worn. "This was in the attic," she said, her voice trembling. "Grandma left it for you. The will wasn't just about the house. Dad, there's more." I took the journal, my hands unsteady. Inside were letters, sketches, and a codicil, a handwritten amendment to the will, notarized but never filed. It stated that the lake house wasn't just mine. It was meant for Lily, too, with a condition we had to live there together for 1 month before any sale could be finalized. Eleanor's words, scrawled in her looping script, hit me like a wave. "Tom, this house holds our truth. Don't let it go until you understand." I wanted to laugh it off Eleanor and her cryptic nonsense, but Lily's eyes stopped me. She wasn't angry. She was hurt. "You sold it without even telling me," she said. This was my chance to know her. "Dad, why didn't you wait?" Her words cut deeper than I expected. I'd always prided myself on being a good father, but in that moment, I saw myself through her eyes, a man so consumed by his past that he'd robbed her of hers. I called the developer, hoping to stall the sale, but he was unyielding. The deal was done, papers signed, demolition set for next week. My only option was to buy it back at a loss that would wipe out my savings. I cursed Eleanor's memory, her knack for complicating my life even from the grave. But Lily's plea, soft yet firm, kept me there. "Stay with me. Dad, 1 month. Let's do what she asked." We moved into the lake house, its creaking floors and musty air a time capsule of my youth. The first week was tense. Lily explored every corner, finding Eleanor's old canvases, her paint-splattered smocks, her notes scribbled on napkins. I avoided those relics, focusing instead on practicalities, fixing a leaky faucet, scrubbing mildew from the walls. But the journal haunted me. Each night, I read a little more, uncovering Eleanor's regrets. She'd written about me, about how she'd failed me, how her art had consumed her, but never filled the void of losing me. I thought you'd come back, she wrote. I waited. Tom, those words cracked something in me. I'd always seen myself as the victim, but now I wondered if I'd judged her too harshly. Had I ever given her a chance to explain Lily? Meanwhile, was falling in love with the place? She'd sit by the lake, sketching like Eleanor, her face alight with a peace I envied. One evening, she showed me a portrait of me, younger, smiling, with Eleanor beside me. I found this in her studio. She said, "She loved you, Dad. Why did you hate her so much?" I didn't have an answer. Instead, I told Lily about my childhood, the loneliness, the resentment, the way I'd built my life to be everything Eleanor wasn't, stable, predictable. But as I spoke, I realized how much I'd lost in that pursuit. I'd become a man who couldn't forgive, who'd sold a piece of his daughter's heritage to erase his own pain. The second week, strange things started happening. Lights flickered at odd hours. Footsteps echoed in the attic when we were both downstairs. Lily swore she saw a figure by the lake, an elderly woman in a shawl, watching us. I dismissed it as imagination, but the journal's pages grew more unsettling. Eleanor wrote of a guardian tied to the house, a spirit bound to the lake, protecting its secrets. I scoffed, but one night, I woke to find the journal open to a new page, one I hadn't seen, in Eleanor's handwriting. Ask Lily about the locket. I confronted Lily the next morning. She hesitated, then pulled a silver locket from her pocket. Inside was a tiny photo of her as a baby, held by Eleanor. I found it in the attic, she admitted. Grandma visited me when I was little, didn't she? You never told me. The truth spilled out. Eleanor had come to see Lily once, when she was 3, but I'd turned her away, too angry to let her near my daughter. I'd lied to Lily, saying her grandmother was gone. Now, the weight of that lie crushed me. The third week, I started seeing the figure too, a faint outline by the lake, always at dusk. It didn't scare me, it felt familiar, like a memory I couldn't place. Lily and I began talking more, not just about Eleanor, but about us. She told me how my distance, my obsession with control, made her feel like she had to prove herself. I told her about my fears, how I'd wanted to shield her from the chaos I'd known. For the first time, we were honest, raw, vulnerable. By the 4th week, I knew I couldn't let the house go. I called the developer again, offering every cent I had to buy it back. He laughed, saying the land was worth more now, but I didn't care. This wasn't about money anymore. It was about Lily, about Eleanor, about the family we could still be. The night before the deadline, I sat by the lake, the journal in my lap. The figure appeared again, clearer now, Eleanor, her eyes soft, her smile sad. She didn't speak, but I felt her message. Fix this, for her. The next morning, a miracle, or maybe Eleanor's doing, the developer called, saying a local conservation group had offered to buy the land for a nature preserve, but only if the house stayed intact. They'd pay enough to cover my losses and keep the house in our name. I agreed, stunned, and Lily cried when I told her. We spent the final day cleaning the house, hanging Eleanor's paintings, making it ours. As we left, I looked back at the lake, half expecting to see Eleanor again. The water was still, but I felt her presence, a quiet peace settling over me. I'd spent my life running from her, but in that house, I'd found her and myself. Lily hugged me, her locket glinting in the sun. We did it, Dad, she said. We kept her with us. This story isn't just about a house or a will. It's about what we owe the past and the future. Was I wrong to sell the house without asking Lily? Was Eleanor right to tie us to a place I despised? What does justice look like when love and pain are so tangled? Share your thoughts. Where do you stand on forgiveness, family, and the ghosts we inherit?